Hi, I'm Chantelle with 141 Design Company and welcome to my channel. My first fully finished item is Mad for Plaid, and I have it fully finished on the edge display board that we created in collaboration with Kathy Haberman of Hands On Design. The Mad for Plaid chart comes with 4 seasons. You have winter, spring, summer, and fall, all in the one chart. In each one of them, I did mine on 14 count murky fabric, and so this is a good estimation of what that'll look like on this particular design board. Let me break this down for you so you can see a little bit more about the on the edge display. Your display board will come packaged up all together with 5 unfinished pieces. These pieces are maple with an MDF core, and they will be sanded for you. Inside, you're going to find obviously the photo of the piece, a template of all the layouts, and behind this are the instructions for putting this together. There's also some tips in there on what glue I like to use in order to build your on the edge display. The box, let me take my decor out. The box inside is this empty space right here, and that allows you to put whatever you'd like in there. So you can use this as a swap out board with using magnets to click one magnet onto the back and another magnet here. The rare earth magnets will magnetize right through the wood so that you can put yours on. Now I went ahead and glued mine on because this is going to be a permanent piece for my spring piece, and I might do some more because I really liked spring and I'd like to see what it looks like in a couple different fabrics and maybe even a different count. I also used some mat board to fully finish this on, so I used a mat board piece for this, the stitch, and then also for the gingham that I put on the back, which this is a blue gingham from Poppy and Cotton is where that particular gingham came from. Then I've got just this nice little natural colored bow ribbon at the top and a tiny little pink button. Pretty sure that came out of a Lori Holt collection of those little tiny buttons that they have. And my insert for spring is this little concoction. And what I did was, this is actually parts and pieces from a wreath that I found at Hobby Lobby that is a bunny. It's a bunny wreath. And I bought the entire thing. You know, when you wait and make sure it's 40% off, you're good to go there for that, right? Then I deconstructed it and took all of these little, these are actually wood. And they remind me a lot of, remember making piñatas when we were young? And you take the little crepe paper or tissue paper and you put your pencil in and you pull it up on it, dab it with the glue, and then stick it on your piñata. That's what those little guys remind me of. They kind of look like those little piñata pieces, but they are wood. And I pushed them into some more, you know, like flower foam, and then made this little insert to go right inside. So I had the cute little funky little flowers to go along with my funky murky fabric and finish my spring Mad for Plaid on the edge display board. There are quite a few different ideas floating around out there to do Mad for Plaid, so be sure to check out the hashtag for this, which is hashtag 141 Mad for Plaid Sal, because we did do a stitch along that began the beginning part of February and ran through the whole month. So there's a lot of folks out there who have stitched this, and you'll be able to see a lot of great inspiration on that hashtag. On another note, the additional piece items that Kathy Haberman introduced at market are also the same size as Mad for Plaid, but they are plaid all year. So there was a 4th of July, an Easter, and this one for Canada, which is Oh Canada. And I happen to know there are more on the way. So there will be a lot of great great new plaid all year designs coming our direction. They're very fun to stitch. And with the Mad for Plaid, I did use the called for Cosmo floss, and I have it just kitted up here on our flower floss style, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, every one of them is full. So the whole collection, and this is the floss that will do all 4 seasons. So once you have your Cosmo collection and you have your Mad for Plaid chart, you've got enough to do all 4 seasons, and then you can finish it on a display board. And being square though, it would also go on a few of our other design boards. But that's finish number 1, Mad for Plaid, and I had a great time doing this with all of you in the stitch along. My second fully finished piece was also a stitch along that I did with Nicole Spohr, and she chose the chart More Chocolate Bunnies from Hands On Design. This chart came as a printed copy as well as a PDF version on Kathy's website. But if you grab the paper, then it will include the tiny little white buttons that you'll want for the little bunny. So you might want to grab that if you're looking to get in on this stitch along. It is finished now, but it's always there. If you follow the hashtag, you're going to see a lot of great inspiration with this particular piece. I kept my piece as I was stitching along with it in this particular bag from Dot Dot Goose. It is so cute. I love the fabric on this one. This is actually one of my favorites. I love this like vintage floral vibe that it has. And she also included, or at least I bought from her, the little thread bed piece. So I keep that right inside. The fabric I chose to stitch More Chocolate Bunnies on was from XJU Design, and it's 28 count old linen Lugana. I do have some extra, so I'm going to use that for something special. And I was able to keep the called for sulky floss is what I stitched it with in this cute little bag that I got from Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, while we were at retreat. It fit the little sulkies just perfect, and it was so nice and easy to tuck into my bag. The neat thing about this particular chart too is that Kathy also designed a complementary chart, which is Hop On In, that used the same floss. So I may choose to do this on that leftover piece of old linen, or maybe I'll grab some black. But I do want to do this one in the future, so I've kept it all inside my kit with the extra sulky so that I can do that sometime in the future and add that to my Easter collection. But that being said, let me show you my fully finished piece. 141 Design Company did create this particular board, which is the Plentiful Pocket, and I love it. And we did it in collaboration with Nicole for her stitch along of More Chocolate Bunnies. This is my finish. Let me break this down for you. The Plentiful Pocket is a kind of a paddle design, and it has a front pocket area right here that you're going to put inserts here and kind of act as risers. You'll glue them on top of each other, and it creates this little pocket for accessories and things for you to put in. I grabbed these carrots from the Hobby Lobby site, and they're just some cute little Easter picks. These flowers came alongside with it. And this is how I finished it. It's on Lori Holt's fabric. Let me bring that in closer for you to take a look at. With some rickrack. And then this is that XJU Design fabric. And just look how pretty it turned out. I just love the way these colors are popping. To be honest, I thought maybe I had picked a dark color. That it was a little too dark and it wasn't showing up very well. But once I had it fully finished, I am thrilled. I did go with the paper copy, so you'll see I do have the tiny little buttons for their little bunny bums. And I chose to put this on with magnets in case I want to use my Plentiful Pocket for a future chart. I'll show you how that works. The magnets are on the back side of this piece, and then they're behind the board of the pocket. So they will line up, but I don't have any extra bulk. So my piece clicks right onto the board and fits on there very nicely. One thing I have found with these, they're rare earth magnets, by the way, with these rare earth magnets is that you do want to use maybe the tight bond glue to put your magnets on with. Glue gun doesn't like to hold the magnets on. It does seem to resist and pull off over time, so I've not had much luck with the glue. Using it with a glue gun, anyway, the hot glue gun. Let me show you my finish on that. That is my layered linen technique, and I have shared this in my Facebook group, which is Chantelle's 141 on Facebook. And it is a simple dry brush technique. So I'm using a chip brush with chalk paint, and I will drag it through multiple shades of white, and I'll go one direction, then I will come across the other direction. I love creating this texture as my backers for my pieces. So you'll see that I use it often. And the board in the back, this is a knot because this is actually the B side of our maple wood, where the front is the A side. So from time to time you may see a knot on the wood. This one I chose for myself because it was a prototype, but the stain that I used came from Hobby Lobby. They're tiny little bottles, and I'll insert a picture so you see what they are. And I used a blue color, and that's what's wonderful about using the maple for some of our boards. We are using MDF now, but this particular board is maple. This, you can stain them, and they really turn out nice. So let me put my stitch back on. You'll see the magic of the magnets come through. But that's my full finish then for more chocolate bunnies on the Plentiful Pocket display board. I'm so thrilled with this one. My third finished item is actually two items, and they are from Charts by Erin Elizabeth. We have the Easter patch and Farm Fresh carrots, and I have them fully finished on a brand new display board that we are calling the Square Up. The Square Up looks like this. It has a base with it and a square frame, and then obviously the post that your piece is attached to. I have Farm Fresh carrots finished in black, and I did some heavy distressing on this piece. And then I have the Easter patch finished in white with a cute little bow tied right onto the handle. I just used some, twine and a little bit of rickrack. Let me get that in there for you. And this little daisy I found in the scrapbook section to tuck that in. This is a new piece that I just fell in love with, these designs from Erin Elizabeth. She has quite a few of them, so you do want to go over and check them out. I know there were 4 in the Easter collection. We chose to do 2 of them. And then this is fully finished using 2 boards. So there is a board on the stitch, there is a board for the backer, and this is some Lori Holt orange gingham that I believe came from her Bee Plaid series. The black one is done, or the Farm Fresh carrots I should say, is done in a similar fashion using the same fabric from Lori Holt. I went ahead and glued each one of these in. I did not use magnets to put them in. However, I did choose to attach the frame to the post with Velcro. All right, and these pieces will come with Velcro strips. So you'll see here, you've got a dual lock Velcro that will come with your kit that you'll put on either side. The way I attach these is I will click the Velcros together. They're both the same size on, it doesn't matter which side is which, right? So you'll click them together. That's what makes them dual lock from 3M. And you push both of them on to your base piece. Then you will take the sticky part off of this side and off of that side and line your board up exactly where you want it and just press. That will push the sticky onto the other side, and then they'll come right off. These will be available separate, so maybe you'll just want to use this and hang it somewhere or put it in an easel and not use the base. Or you might want to get extra square ups for replacing and just have one base. Let me click this back on and you'll see how easy that goes. If you don't want to use the Velcro, here we go. You just press, whoops, get both of them pressed there. It's really strong. I used to use this on my welcome boards when I was selling those for the attachment. But if you choose to glue it on, that's fine too. Go ahead and just take your board and glue it right onto this stand, and then it will just be one piece. But this is the new Square Up featuring Erin Elizabeth's new designs. So thrilled with those, and I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot more of the Erin Elizabeth designs here on our pieces in the future. Another finished piece that I have to share with you is on a brand new piece that we're calling the Four Seasons Collection. This particular board has an area space for finishing that is 5 by 7. The piece that I have to share with you is from Stitching with the Housewives. This is a club piece that you would find at Fat Quarter Shop. I'm not sure if this is available, so you'll want to go check their site out to see if it is. However, there's a lot of other great 5 by 7 pieces that will fit these boards. This one is fun because it does have a button cutout that comes along with your piece. You have 2 boards down here at the bottom that glue together, and then you've got the fun little button. Again, I finished this with that fun little layered linen paint technique that I like to do, and it's got multiple shades of white and some grays in it all in here. Then I heavily distressed it. I painted my base black and distressed that as well. This fabric on the back is from Poppy Cotton, and so it's a fun little black and white gingham, and then some ribbons that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. My button charm, which is this flower, has some tiny little baker's twine tied right through it and then glued in the center of that bow. Very simple, very classic design. And what's neat about this one is it's coming in also a spring, summer, winter, and fall assortment. Let me show you each one of those. So you'll receive 2 base pieces, and these pieces are done in a new product that we're using, which is a basic MDF product. So you'll see this does not have the wood grain. This is just MDF. You have the base board and then your second board, which is your board with the slot, so creating the base for your board. You'll get a set of those with each one. And then there's Summer, which has this adorable little sun button that just is right there. You'll notice that this will have a little bit of laser relief from it. These items will need to be sanded first. We will be offering more things from this product, and they will be something you'll want to just do a quick sand on before you get painting on them. But by not sanding them here in our shop, it allows us to get them out to you faster. It also allows us to offer smaller items because our sanders are a little bit too aggressive to handle these tiny little charms. And I know that charms are fun, and that I know I want to use them, and I think you would too. So we're going to do a few of them in this particular material. The square up board and the round up board are also done now out of the MDF material. The other one that comes along in the series then is Fall, and Fall has a leaf cut out with the tiny little leaf button that goes with it. And then there's Winter, and Winter has a mitten with the mitten button. So you've got a cute little set that you can fully finish your items on. I was going to show you the other 5 by 7 items that are available from Stitching with the Housewives. If it's something you can't get on a hold of, that are their Dorable series. These come in a variety of seasons, so Dorable would look very cute on that, as well as the Ride a Bike series. And I have a sample here to show you on that one as well. So here's a Fall from Ride a Bike. You could do another board behind it if you want. That's just showing you an idea of what that could look like if that was fully finished on the cute little Fall Four Seasons board. These boards will be available in a pack form. They'll also be available individually. So if you just would like to get Winter to put a cute little winter scene on, Winter will be available separately along with the other seasons. I hope you love them as much as I do, and I see a lot of great finishing done on these boards. The last finished piece I have to share with you today is really fun, and it also mimics our new board from the Four Seasons. This one I picked up on our road trip when we went to Colorado. We've just been out skiing the beginning of the month, the beginning of March, and on our way home we swung through and checked out Sherry's new store, Colorado Cross Stitcher, and it was so fun. I had so much fun there, and I found a chart that Sherry has done. It's called Stitching Makes Me Happy. So this design is from Colorado Cross Stitcher, and you'll want to head over to her site to pick this up because she does carry or sell this in her shop, and she sells it online. This was so much fun and such a quick little fun stitch. So if you're looking for something, you're feeling the need to stitch something quick in just one night or maybe 2, this is the stitch for you. And then you've got a cute little finished piece for your stitching space or your sewing room, whichever you'd like. When I was there, I grabbed the chart, and then I also grabbed the floss, a Verosoie in red, so it's a silk that I chose to use. And then I used fiber on a whim. This is in Milk and Honey. Let me bring that in, show you that. Now, you'll see this board looks very much like our Four Seasons board, but this is a little tiny small version of it, and it does have a heart cutout that comes with it that's also a button. We're calling this board, when it's just a basic, the bender board. And I'll share more about that and why it's a bender board in a future episode. But right now, I just wanted to share that one with you. I did finish it also on some blue gingham from Poppy and Cotton, and I did a little something special with this one, you guys. I'm going to show it to you unfinished as well. On this one, I took my little 2-inch printer, the Sprocket printer, and I printed out a photo that I took of Sherry and her husband while I was there visiting her in her store, and I basically fully finished the photo and put it on the back. So here she is with her and her husband in her store. I copied the title right off of the stitch so that I could cut that. That's not part of it. It's from the chart, but I color copied it and then cut it out so that I could stick it here on the back. I didn't paint the back, so you'll see this is also that MDF material that this one is being created from. So I maybe should have stitched it or painted it, but anyway, I fully finished it on some foam board that I finished with that Poppy Cotton, and then I stuck their picture right on there. I am going to add the date to this of 2023, and I think I'm going to start doing that every time I visit an LNS. I'm going to pick up a small that's there, something that I can stitch quickly and take a couple pictures or some sort of fun little memory from my visit, and come back and create it so that I can keep it as a little memento, keepsake, souvenir from my visit to the store. So this is my very first one of my new collection of my LNS Smalls trinket collection, I'll call it, or memorabilia items, and it's from Colorado Cross Stitcher. Like I said, head over to her shop and you'll be able to pick this chart up. You won't be sorry. It's a great one. Let me show it to you unfinished. The pieces that you'll get with the small bender board, and the bender comes with different, right now we just have it with a heart cut out, but there will be other shapes that come in the future. You'll get the little heart button, and then you'll get the base. This bender board also comes just solid without a cutout, so that will allow you to just put maybe a bow or a different type of embellishment on the top. And the measurements and things like that for this are all in our listing on our shop, which you'll find currently in our Etsy shop and in the future in our website shop. So you'll find the listings for all those. So, and let me tell you about the bender. The bender board, and the reason why it's called that is because the shape of it is mimicked and grafted after a tombstone that can be found in the, I know that's kind of creepy, but it can be found in the graveyard of the Haunted Mansion, and is from Waller Bender because he took a ride on a fender. So that's his tombstone says that, and that's what this was basically modeled after. I love looking for shapes and things that are just out there in our architecture and things like that, and incorporating them now into our design pieces here so that we just basically need great support pieces. That's exactly what they are. They're support pieces for our art and our stitching that kind of get put together then to complement and not detract from the actual stitching that's involved. So that's stitching makes me happy on the new bender board from 141 Design. I love it. Let's get into my whips. Now my whips, I got a new container for them because I was traveling and I wanted something sturdy. And again, I've been watching Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher. She's probably like that stalker. She's just all over the place. But anyway, she's just awesome. And she had mentioned a bag that she got from, as a freebie for ordering quite a bit of things from a particular company. I happened to order it's shipping products. Okay, guys. So obviously I'm ordering boxes and shipping things. We order from the same company. A lot of the cross stitchers do. And they have a program where if you spend so much, you get free things, right? We normally get these other totes and stuff, but I saved up and I did a big order so that I could get this bog bag, which Sherry had recommended. I had my eye on a big basket that I wanted to get, but I opted for the bog bag because it's a big plastic heavy duty with a tire tread on the bottom. Seemed more my style, you know? It's plastic, durable, all the things, right? And this is what I use to pack. I've got this sitting by my stitching chair, but it's got my current whips in it. So I really like this. I have a travel bag that I use when I go to retreat because this one's kind of heavy, so the other one's a little lighter. But this is a great one for throwing in the car. It's also going to be fabulous to use when I'm camping, and I can set it on the ground, and it's not going to get, if it did get muddy, I can hose it off, right? So I can set it, and it's also, my stitching's going to be very well protected in there, and my bags anyway. Not my stitching's good, but my bags, my precious bags, right? Are nice and protected. So inside are my current whips, and I thought I'd share those with you. Now, I have two bags because I got a second one because, like I said, I'm into the red work. So I got a smaller version of the bog bag. This is it. And this is what I'm calling my red she said bag. Okay, so inside here is my red stitching. There's only 3 right now, and that's probably what I'll be working on each time. Let's start with red stitching. Let's look at that first. So these handles will scooch right down. And inside my red stitching bag, my red she said, is the current red sampler that I'm working on from Hands Across the Sea. This is Elizabeth Wood 1850, and I'm keeping it inside this pretty little red gingham bag from Dot Dot Goose. I did choose to stitch this using Fiber on a Whim Milk and Honey. Now, I've made a mistake and I didn't write this all down, so I'm guessing that's what it is. And this is where I'm at with Elizabeth Wood. Here she is. It is coming right along. And I am so enjoying red stitching. I did have some leftover Vicki Clayton silk, so that is what I decided to use for this particular red one. And that's this. It is variegated and it's showing up. It's hard to see it in the photo here, but it is showing up in my stitching. I am stitching just 1X at a time, and just practicing and things like that. That's what that fabric looks like. It's so pretty. So that's the first whip I have in my red she said bag. And I'll probably have that one done pretty quick because, as you can see, there's not much left. I'm to the part, I got Elizabeth Wood Will is stitched in there. It's not exactly, I do have some changes, not necessarily boo-boos, but they're boo-boos. I have some changes. This particular guy was supposed to be over the 4s, and I put it in over the 5s, so he's just shifted over a little bit. And then on the word will, the W was like all squinched up. The little girl had it all squinched up here on the side, and I just stitched it so that it matched. I don't know why. It just felt like I just wanted to see not the squished up stuff, but I probably should have stitched it more authentic, but it's, you know, it's on my wall. So that's going to be that. Then the other one in red she said is in a new bag that I picked up from Blue Ribbon Design. I found this one on Etsy as well, and this is I just like the aquas and the pinks together. Even though it's not necessarily red, I like it in with the red she said bag. And it's like stitching fabric. Do you see it? It looks like a screen print. In this one, I was grabbing my whipstick projects out and pulled the stick that in my whipstick box container, I have 12 sticks that are in there, and they have the names of the 12 starts that I started on New Year's Eve in the New Year's Eve 12 by 12. All right. I decided to go ahead and pull a stick and work on whatever came out of the box the other day. And what was funny is I pulled the first one, and of course it was Mad for Plaid. I'm like, what is this stick even doing in here anymore? Then I pulled the second one, and it was Florence Law, which is another red sampler from Hands Across the Sea that I also already finished. So I'm like, well, my first 2 have already finished them, so I got those sticks out of there. The second stick I pulled out of my whipstick box was Collector's Heart from Heart and Hand. Now, it was referring to the Collector's Heart from 2022 because that's the one I had kitted up. But I remembered that I had Collector's Heart 2023, and that it was all red and it was completely kitted up, and that one, that spoke to me. So I went and grabbed it and got started on it. And I'll probably have this finished up within a week or so. It's a fun one and very doable. And that's my start on Collector's Heart 2023. I've got the date in there, the floss that comes in the kit. So the fabric comes in the kit, the floss comes in the kit, and I do have these in my shop. So if you want to get Collector's Heart, go ahead and grab it. It comes, this is the floss that comes with it, and so you'll see it's a variegated red, and it is really variegated. Look at the heart on that. Can you, yeah, look at the heart. There's a lot of variegation, so it is very fun to stitch, and it is on, let me see if I can share that with you. It's a 32 count Heartland linen. So that's that. I am using a hoop and magnification to stitch those, but I've got that in here in my little red she said. I've got an area in my house that I'm kind of working towards to do all of the red in. So that's another method to my madness. Now, this bag is from the Silver State Stitcher. I'm knocking myself out with the tassel thing. I won this when I was at Stitch West, and it is literally one of my favorites. I need to stalk her and get some more of these, but I loved this one because of the red and this pink. Inside the Letters to Europe, or Letters from Europe box that I got from Nicola, there was all this pink crinkle shred, and so she had a really red and pink vibe to it. I've ordered another bag from Stitch Folk already for that series, but it won't be here until sometime in the summer, which is fine. I have hundreds of bags. It's not a problem. But this one works well for it is too. So I put the first sampler on the journey from Letters to Europe in here, and it is a Greek sampler. I have no clue how to say that. So I'm just going to hold it, and here it is. I did get a start on it. It is on Just the Ticket, and it's a 36 count, Just the Ticket. And let me show you and Just the Ticket is from Tabby Cat linen. Here's my start. So I'm getting going on another red one. Red is something that I have been doing in the morning. So I put red stitches in for about an hour, maybe an hour or two every morning. It's really nice. Or if I'm, watching TV or something like that, it's just easier to, do that with the girls. Which, by the way, is anyone watching Survivor? We just started watching that, and it's pretty good season. I recommend. But anyway, I am stitching this one in the 103 silks and in the color 523. So that's also in my red she said bag, and that's the only 3 I have going right now, and it's probably all I'll be doing until one of them's done, and then I'll replace it. Something else I'm going to show you that's in my bag, and that is Finally Wised Up. All right, I have been grabbing it like that. I forgot what fabric that is already that I'm doing the other red one on, and I should know that. I just started it. I don't remember, right? I have a book that I'm putting everything in, but I don't necessarily put it in at the beginning. I'm like kind of trying to backtrack and fill it all in when things are finished. And it will work in the end. It'll be a nice document to document all of my finishes. But in the meantime, I decided I needed something in the bag, So I bit the bullet. I've been eyeballing Carrie's project cards. They're called My Project Information from Tiger Lily Design. I've had my eye on these for a while, and I pulled the bag out the other day and went, I don't even know what this stuff is in here. Doggone it. And so I'm like, that second, over to Tiger Lily and ordered, I think, 50 of them. I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to have one of these cards. So I've been filling these out now and just putting them right in. So this one had an extra little bag inside the bag. So I just put the card right inside here, and I'm keeping it in the bag, like with the project as it's going. And then once I'm finished with the project, I will transfer the information over with a photo and some more details and things like that into an actual journal. But at least I have the the card in there first. I'm not like sticking the card onto it or anything like that. It's not a library card. It's just a project card. And I have it in my bag finally. So that system is working a little bit better for me, to have a bag in the bag. So that's my red, she said. My other whip container, let's just grab these all out right now and show you all the ones that are in here. There's 4, so I don't have a ton, but I love how it's coming together. Look at the bags from inside my bag. Okay, the first one's also a part of a stitch along. This is a Facebook group, and it was from a group that kind of got together at the Annabella's retreat in January, and it is a bee theme stitch, so I put it into this particular bag from Dot Dot Goose, and it is Hive Rules from Primrose Cottage. It's a long one. I've chosen to do it on a 28 count fabric from XJU Designs. This one I'm going to have to look up because of course I didn't have my cards yet, so I don't have it in the box, but this is my start on this one, and I am using Victoria Clayton silks for this as well. I messaged her and said, hey, will you throw a conversion together for Hive Rules from Primrose Cottage? And I kid you not, I mean, it was maybe 10 minutes. And she's back with me going, done, on the site. I'm like, add to cart. So here they are. She's amazing. She's so quick with, she says, boom, 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 got it. So I've got the first section done. It's a section a month is the stitch along. And you'll see that, you know, there's what, 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, I don't know, about a lot. It's going to be for the rest of the year. I got the first section done in the silks, and I love this fabric and the modeling. I picked this area. It's a big piece. I've got it folded over, but I picked this side in particular so that my stitching would go through that big, you know, modeled area. I think that's so pretty, and that's my start. So I recommend follow the hashtag for this one. It's PCS Hive Rules Sal, and see what everyone else is doing and how their progress. A lot of them, of course, are already done. All these overachievers. You know, they say it's not a race, and I'm like, yeah, who you guys kidding? It is too. Everybody's racing all the time. And that's okay. I'm a racer too. It's okay if we race. I don't mind. But the silks I've got inside this little container that I just picked up. It's over in the jewelry section at Walmart. Okay, it's for holding beads in, right? It has dividers that go with it, but I just tossed them because here's how I've got my little silks inside there. And then Vicki sends along, like in just a copy paper typed up, of what the conversion is, so that you've got your guide for the conversion over to the silks. So I just taped it to the top, and it just is holding my silks just so. I did see somebody take their Victoria Clayton silks and they just took it all off the spools and put them on thread drops. So you could do that too. I just keep them on the spools and, you know, pop them in this little container. That's one. I do have plans for more bees, and you're going to see I've got 2 bees going right now, and then I've got more bees coming up in plans. The other chart that I have going on is in this new little portfolio. Look at how precious it is. Okay, this came from Julie Weston. She makes these, and her daughter is Holly, Mrs. Jones Stitches, I want to say. And Holly will post these on her Instagram site when her mother has them available, so you can go over there and buy them from there. I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. It's not easy to get these. I got one. There's a whole bunch of them. I was thrilled to get one. They're very nice. And they're kind of a nice petite size. So inside this particular, Ben just kitted this up the other night. It is Annie B's, the new Bee Suite. Okay? And this is my start. Let me show you the inside of this bad boy too. You can see, here's the inside. So you've got a little bit of batting up here to hold a needle, and I tucked some extra floss that I've got going on. You got some other pockets here. You got a pocket here. You got a pocket here. You got a zipper pocket here, which of course in here, Tiger Lily project information card. So now I'm good. I'm good to go. But so if I read off the card, I have, and I need to update this card, because what I did was I put in here, it's got, Be Sweet, and then it's by Annie B's. I'm doing it on 25 count parchment from Lori Holt. And I wrote that down here in the notes. And then I wrote that I'm using all the called for Classic Colorworks and Weeks floss. Now, I just wrote that down here. However, now I'm second guessing. I'm going to come back through and write the names of the called for floss on here. That way, if this is just in a binder somewhere and I want to go look this one up in alphabetical order, I don't have to go then dig for the chart to find out, well, what were the called for? They'll be on the card. So I need to do my due diligence and fill those out a little better. This is just 2 days worth of stitching. Check it out, guys. I loving it. Okay, this is 25 count. So it's one of those, I'm calling, I've heard other people, it's like a comfort stitch. It's just a great, easy, just kind of goes right along. Now, some mistake that I feel I made. All right, I'm going to confess right now. I chose 25 count parchment, but I think it's a little light for this particular stitch because when I got up in here, see, this is Classic Colorworks, and I do have it, I've got it all kitted onto one of my floss styles. This particular color is dandelion stem, and the stems of these flowers are supposed to be dandelion stem. Well, I stitched them, but see how light it is? It's showing up okay here because the other is, I got to look it up. I'm going to say it's 4-leaf clover, but it might, oh, it's Little Sprout. I'm sorry. Here's the floss. It's Little Sprout, the darker green. And so the darker green is on either side of the dandelion stem, so it's causing it to show up, right? Well, when I stitched just the stems to the flowers, it faded into the background too much, and then it just made these things look like polka dots. And there's more that need to come up here, and there's a bunch that go over here, and some bees that go in there, and then the word Be Sweet, which I'm not sure if I'm putting the words on yet. I don't know. I left room in case I decide I'm going to. But so I changed this to be Little Sprout, which is the same color that's in here. And I think that worked out. That worked okay. I did have to adjust some of these little stems though, because they were touching each other because they were different colors before, right? So I just shortened them so they wouldn't blend into each other. But this is adorable. I think it would look really good if you chose to stitch this one on a grungy fabric. So even something that's mottled or a little bit darker fabric, I just think, and I thought about spraying it with the spray, but I found that the Lugana seems to resist the spray a little bit, so it doesn't, I like it to be more blotchy, but it doesn't matter. I love it, and I'm happy with it, and it'll probably be finished up in the next week. So I will keep trucking along on Be Sweet from Annie B's, which, yep, I'm a fan of Annie B's. So we had talked about having feature designers, and Annie B's is coming up as a feature designer. And Teresa Kogut, I'm going to be working on a lot of Annie B's and Teresa Kogut here in the future, and writing alongside with Kathy Haberman. So you'll see a bunch more of that coming up in plans and in my future stitching and sharing here with finishing on the channel. Okay, next. Look at this folio, you guys. Oh, my heart. I can't even. So this one, obviously it's in Stitchy Birds. It gives you an idea of what might be inside. And this came from Rika of House of Stitch and Stash. And I ordered this from her through her Instagram, and I will link those things for you so you can go over and check out Rika's. Now you can see I love these folios, but these are a little bit different sizes. I also am part of Tiger Lily's Club for her folios too, because those are amazing folios. So there's that one as well. I've shared that one before. And inside she has a spot for the fabric, a zipper pouch, and there is in there. And I grabbed it because I wanted the Teresa Kogut for sure, because inside here, as part of the Patreon, she released this month Funky Birds, I believe it's called. And I started it on Drabble. Let me make sure I get this correct. Here it is. I used the DMC floss, kitted it up on my Fruity Pebbles. So these are floss drops that I just cut out of cereal boxes, right? So these are all on Fruity Pebbles. They're nice, they're easy, they're disposable. You can just put the pencil name on the back, but also stuck the tag on for the thing. So this is 28 count Drapple Brown from XG Design and Funky Bird. And here it is. There's my start for Funky Bird. I think it's like F is for Funky Bird, F is for Funky, B is for Birds is the quote that it says on there. I'm not 100% again on the words. If I'm going to be putting the words on, started with the birds. Love it. I love it. And this Drapple Brown, I'm going to bring it in close so you can see and kind of tuck this down. Well, that kind of shows you. The modeling on Drapple Brown is, it's got a little bit of a burgundy undertone to it. So that's why I thought it just really went beautifully with the floss that goes with this. It's just, it's so pretty. It just all went together so perfectly. So that's another whip that I've got going on. And it's, again, it's part of the Patreon. It's got a Patreon, some primrose, got a little Annie Bees happening. And then my final whip is in this bag, which is from Starry Owl with my Jingle Jangle tag that says Florence, Hands Across the Sea. And my Florence is, I think you've seen it already before. Let me just give you an update on it. This particular chart from Hands Across the Sea, this was an exclusive through Hobby House. I bought this at the beginning of the year, and it is a year-long stitch-along that is going on. A lot of people have it done, but I'm the year-long person. It is done on creme brulee, and I have it in 32 count in the Versoix Soie silk is what my choice is. I started in the middle, and I have, let me hold it up behind this Jingle Jangle bag. I have the bouquet done, and then I got a little bird done. I got that purple urn with the flowers done, and I'm working on the deer, but you can see it's got its little, you know, trailing floss. There's a problem. He's got an extra stitch in him, so that one's going to have to come out. I was just cruising right along too, and then you know how that happens, and you just like hit a roadblock, and you're like, okay. So he's just kind of chilling for a little bit, but I'm going to get back to it. I know I will, because this is my year-long project there with Hobby House and Hands Across the Sea. See, they put together the whole bits and pieces. Now, I didn't start with the border. I just went right to the middle thing, so I don't know why, but I did. So that's Florence Mary Dickinson. I'll show it to you one more time. You'll want, if you want to see people who've already finished it, check out that hashtag because there's a lot who've already done it. They've got them framed and everything. I will be a future finisher on that one. But those are my whips that I'm working on right now. Again, I have other whips, a lot of different ones, the ones from the 12 by 12 starts and things like that. But this is what I have happening currently and what I plan to work on in the next week. I also have some plans, which I'm going to go over in the plans section. Let's talk haul. I've got quite a bit to share. A lot of it obviously came from my trip to Colorado Cross Stitcher. Loved it. I went to market before we headed out to Colorado and dropped off some items to Kathy in her hands-on design booth because we had the Polar Plunge ornament packs along with on the edge packs that are now being sold to retailers. So you can also pick those up at your local L&S. Then we headed out to Colorado, and then on the way back I realized I didn't spend much time shopping while I was at market. So I only got a few things. So I'm, picking up the new releases from different shops, just like everyone else. And I was able to grab quite a few of them at Sherry's Place, Colorado Cross Stitcher. So a lot of them come from there. One of the new releases that I picked up from her place was Birds of a Feather Blackbird Design. So I just love the funky, quirky, those flowers especially. That is definitely my look. And this one is exciting. I'm not sure exactly when I'll get to it, but I wanted to have it on hand. The second thing I did for Birds of a Feather is, you know how I love Vicki Clayton silks. She did a floss silk pack a conversion for this particular thing. So if you head over to Vicki Clayton's hand dyed fiber site, you can pick up one of these packs and it's completely kitted for you. Then now all I have to do is figure out a fabric, which I think I probably have something in my stash for that one. But Birds of a Feather, that was one that I got. The other birth that I didn't make it to at market was Heartstring Samplery, and they were definitely on my list for getting a few things from. The first one I grabbed, and I bought this at Sherry's, was My Sweet Home. I am just such a sucker for anything home, anything welcome home, anything sweet home, all of those things. I'm there for it. I love my home. Let me get that in. I haven't really dug into this quite yet to figure all of that out, but it intrigues me and it excited me and I needed to have it. So it is mine. Sting Like a Bee was another one that was on my list, and this was in collaboration with Plum Street. She did Float and Heartstring did Sting. I don't have Float yet, but I will pick that up. But I knew I wanted to get Sting Like a Bee because I've got a lot of bee plans coming up here. The other one that this one just, I could not believe I did not get this one when I was there. So I was thrilled that Sherry had it. And it is the Sunday Stitches booklet. These hems, they hit me. They hit me hard here in the chest. There's a lot of good memories to most of these hymns. And hymns are things that we don't necessarily sing in church anymore. I know it kind of, the praise music and everything kind of started back, I remember in high school, you know, when we were singing hymns and then all of a sudden there was a lot of praise music that came in. We had the overhead projectors and the guys with the guitars. I don't know if you remember that from your youth group. And the hymns just kind of started to go by the wayside and we didn't sing as many. And I love these hymns. They're precious and I really am excited to have them stitched and on my wall. I know that, for instance, I would cling to the old rugged cross. That's my dad's favorite. I need to have that stitched. It Is Well With My Soul. That is a song that is also very special to us. I went to a Christian high school and we sang that every week on my freshman year at chapel. We would sing that. So all of these are just amazing and it creates a great look. So if you haven't picked this one up and these hymns speak to you too, definitely grab a copy of this. That will be really precious to stitch. Two other charts that I've just had my eye on. They were not new from market, but I thought I'd grab them while I was there. Is this one. They're part of a series, but I just got two. It's a Sew Together series, and it's from Jeanette Douglas. I got Scissors and Threads. I love that bird. Don't know how I turned into a bird lover, but apparently I am now. And then Jeanette Douglas also did this one, Home Together. There's no place like home. Again, another adorable little home stitch that I want in my stash. Now, the other things that intrigued me while I was there at Sherry's, just like her Stitching Makes Me Happy chart that I already did, was she has two other original designs. One of them is Sampler Maker, and it has a little bonus guide. I went ahead and got the floss while I was at her place, and I got some fabric. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then I guess these are called Signpost, and this signpost stitch is called Stitcher. And there's the called for floss. She had the most amazing floss wall, and so I went ahead and got the floss while I was at her place because who could resist the floss wall, right? So I got all that, and then she also has a fabulous linen selection, and all of these things are on her website, so definitely head over to her website. I grabbed some Belfast linen. This is 32 count Country Mocha, and I grabbed some Belfast linen in 32 count Silver Moon, and those are great for adding to my stash, and then we'll get these stitcher pieces done. So that was my haul from Sherry's, and then once I got home here, another My Sweet Home that I hadn't picked up. Well, she wasn't at market anyway, so I did have to order this online. But this is from Brenda Gervais, and it's My Sweet Home. And I was able to grab this one kitted from Farm Girl Dry Goods. So that came from there. And then when I was there, I knew I wanted this chart, and I didn't get into Yarn Tray quick enough, and it was sold out. I was other places doing other things. So I saw Stacy from Stacy's Stitches Creates, and while I was there, and I said, hey, you know, I got to get going, but if you hit that Yarn Tray shop, will you please order the Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchers Retreat House? Because I wanted to get it, and I thought, oh, I'd like to order it from Stacy. So she did. And here it is. You'll want to head over to her shop and see if she's got some available. But it is adorable. It just came in. So I don't have this one kitted or anything yet. But I love this one. The colors, everything. And look at the buttons on this frame. What a nice clean idea. We're going to see that. We're going to steal that idea and use that. We'll credit Lori here at Pansy Patch, but she did a great job on that one. So that was super cute. Now, there's a Flosstuber that I've been watching. She just has a couple of them, and her name's Gigi. And let me make sure I know. It's Artsy Housewife. So check out Artsy Housewife. She's got some pretty cute things. And then I noticed while she was sharing on her Flosstube, she has designs, and they're gorgeous. Not that the other designers aren't, but hers, they're gorgeous. And I'm going to grab some and get them stitched. But not only that, in her Etsy shop, she had these little wooden blocks that are all decoupaged. Like, look at this. It's like a little house situation. I love, see my little shelf back here and stuff? I love little shelves like that and little places. I've got one that I'm working on filling right now. Love little, cute little wood knickknacks. Now, what she is, they are wood. So they're all wood. She's painted them and she's decoupaged cute little scrapbook paper things on them. So these are just going to look really adorable on my little shelf with the tiny little cross stitch smalls and things like that. And this size, she gifted this one. So thank you so much. And look at the back of it. Look at her. Isn't she so, I mean, I love this side, but this is the side I'm going to hold out. I wanted to show, look. I love this. It must be what my kids think I look like now, you know, with my stitching and all the things. This little lady looking through her little like magnifier, checking out her stitching. So thank you, Gigi. Those are adorable, and I can't wait to get those up on my shelf. And of course, she sent a cute note along with it. I also picked up from Cedar River Linen. Cedar River, an entire yard of the color Overcast. Now this is a 32 count because in Teresa Koget's Patreon, she's got a stitch along happening right now, and Overcast was the called for color. As you can see, I'm already behind. Well, I'm not behind. I just haven't started quite yet, but I will start. And I've got my linen. I've got plenty, obviously, now. So I got to get that kitted up and get going. So that was another little piece of haul. And on the Teresa Koget note, I also grabbed a fat quarter bundle from Fat Quarter Shop of, I believe it's called Stitchy Birds. Is that correct? Yep, Stitchy Birds from Teresa Koget, so that I could pull. I was going to just get a couple of these fabrics out of here, and then I decided, no, just pull the trigger, get all of them. They're just fat quarters, so I can use them up, you know. But look at the great basics that are inside here. This particular basic with the little X's on it, it comes in a lot of different colors inside the fat quarter bundle, or in the line, I guess. It's in burgundy, it's in blue, it's in a yellow, and in like a cream color. I just think those will be great for, you know, backers, you know, the baseboard on some of my stitching, because I've got some Teresa Koget that I'm working on, and I know these colors are going to blend perfectly with her DMC. I grabbed the DMC call for colors for Teresa, and know they all go together. So I grabbed a packet of that before I couldn't anymore, and have that in my stash now for future finishing. Now, the last thing that I have to share with you is I have kind of gone deep. Well, sort of deep. I'm in the shallow end still, but I'm in the pool. Let's put it that way. On sampler stitching. All right. It is my 2023 goal to get some samplers finished. You've seen me. I've gotten a couple of the reds done, and I've got a lot of the red work is kind of really fun. I'm really enjoying the red stitching. And I'm especially enjoying the charts that are from Hands Across the Sea, and I'm watching Nicola every Sunday. I cannot believe how much I love watching her Flosstube. So she had a special birthday and just turned 60 and had a box that was available that was exclusive to well, it was like a one and done type of thing. So there were about 600 of them that you could pick up, and this was the box, and inside is a collection of charts that are there's one that's not all red. Well, no, a couple of them didn't have all red on them, but most of them are red samplers. Look at this. It was, and there's even a couple more in here. Oh my goodness. So this is it, to be able to put together maybe a sampler wall in the red. And I did kit the box, and I am so excited about it. It had some of the 103 silks in there. It had the charts. It had some other goodies. It had a couple coupons to Hobby House, which I'll be using for sure. And then I also ordered some Vicki Clayton red silk. I ordered her conversion to 347 in silk, just so that I'd have it in my box to get going on it. And if you want to know more about it, well, the box is sold out, but still, if you want to learn about it, she did do an entire episode, Nicola did, on her website that, I kid you not, I thought when I was listening to her tell us all about the box and the different charts that are inside and where they represent on this travel, this little, like make-believe journey that we were going on. I'm like thinking to myself, did I sign up for a cruise? Because this is really awesome. And yeah, I want to go shopping there, and I like to go there, and I want to go there. But stitching it is the next best thing, and I am planning to do that. So that is definitely in my plans. And I think everyone has received the boxes that got them. So they've got them to use. I'll show you also, you might have seen it in my Happy Mail segment there. This little scissor fob, it's from Minnie McBean's. That was also in the box, along with the matching needle minder. These are precious. I love them, and I'm right on my red kahanas. So that was a really fun treat. It was a splurge, and I am happy that I did it. I can't do every splurge like that, so there's a lot of exclusives that come up, and I have to kind of go, well, that one I'll have to let go, but this one, I knew I wanted it, so I made sure I grabbed when that one came about. So that's my haul for this section. Let's talk Happy Mail. So I've got one piece of Happy Mail to show, and I didn't want to forget sharing this with you guys because it came from Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, and I'm sure you've seen these being made and created by a lot of different stitchers out there on Instagram. But this is one of those little, let me zip it, and then I'm going to unzip it so we can reveal the magic within. This little jewelry case has been converted into a stitching case that I can take on my travels, and you better believe I took this with me when I went out to Colorado. I love it. It's so cute. She picked it up at Target, but I know that there's a lot of different cases that you can pick up on Amazon, and other jewelry places in Target. You might be able to find some maybe at Kohl's and Marshall's, but it is a hard-sided case, and she took the insides out. Let me reveal the inside. She took the insides out. Let me take my parts out that are in here and put this as a bottom to it on this beautiful fabric. She did add some metal underneath there. So this is a needle minder that just clicks into place right there so that I've got a nice spot for a needle minder. And then up here is where I'm keeping my scissors. I've got the unpicker. If you don't have one of those yet, run, don't walk, and grab yourself an unpicker. You will not be sorry. And then on the bottom is where I'm keeping, there's a little bit of batting that's in here so that extra floss and whatnots will fit. This sits right beside me while I'm traveling and stitching. It was great in the car. It was great in the condo. It also fit my glasses, so the glasses fit right inside. She did send along this cute little waxer container, so I used that quite a bit. And then this little guy is a little Kahana doll. I got it from Kahana, the place where the scissors come from. And inside, they come in different colors. So my yellow one has the little small needles that I use with linen. I believe they're the 28. And I've just got a few, and they fit inside my little doll. And she goes right in there as well. Then that zips right up and tucks right into my bag, and I'm off and running. Now, because I loved it so much, I did head over to Target to see if I could find another. They were sold out, but I'm sure there's more. But they did have this smaller version, and they do have these in multiple colors. So I grabbed the smaller version. So now I have this adorable little set. Oh, let me turn that around. I have this adorable little set. And the smaller set, I did take the insides out, and then I put a little blue gingham in there so that it would kind of coordinate with the blue sampler fabric that Jessica put inside, and that will keep some other smalls and things like that that I might want to travel with. But there is my new jewelry box traveling case sets, and you probably will see these more on Instagram, but I would grab one if I were you and go and have one made. It's just a nice handy little thing. And then my final plan for spring, which this is when I'm getting kitted up this week so that I can get on to this and get going quick. Becca from Samberry Stitches has got a fabulous little spring sampler that a stitch along is fixing to get ready. So we're bringing in a new stitch along here, and it is for this chart spring from Becca at Samberry Stitches. Now she did it on this really, it's hard to see in the photo, but it's kind of has a lot of modeling in it that's blues and purples and things like that. I think I'm going to go with some different color schemes and put it on a beige. We'll see. I'm going to change up just a little bit, and then it's going to go on the new spring Four Season boards. So it is the same size as this one. It is a 5x7, so I'm going to finish it on this board. And then she's also putting out a summer, fall, and winter little mini sampler that I think will be super cute to have as my seasonal collection from Becca, because I just love that. This can be found in her Etsy shop. So go on over and grab a chart from Becca. I do believe this is also, she was at Market, so these are probably at some LNS stores as well. And this was done on one of our boards in the photo too, so you can get that. This is our box frame. It's a 5x7 box frame. So that's my plans, and I look forward to seeing you in that stitch along too. But thanks for joining me here today, guys. I had a great time putting this episode together for you, and I'm so honored and thrilled that you joined me here in this Flosstube journey. So until next time, see you later.